There is nothing more emasculating than seeing a bunch of grown-ass white men worshiping Donald Trump. Pumps, what do you have for us today?
Every day I wake up and I think, today's the day MAGA is not going to be dumber than the day before. But that was not today, because we have now introduced the idea of a bill with Trump's face on it, a $250 bill. And Representative Joe Wilson says, I am grateful to announce that I am drafting legislation to direct the Bureau of Engraving and Printing to design a $250 bill featuring Donald J. Trump. Bidenflation has destroyed the economy, forcing American families to carry more cash. Most valuable bill for the most valuable president. Are you kidding me?
Do you remember several episodes ago what I called?
You did.
Do you remember I said, this is coming. They will put his face on money. They will put his face on money. And then sure enough, here it comes. They are so predictable in this overt nationalism. And how embarrassing for Joe Williams.
Yes.
Wilson, that you want this guy's approval so desperately that you get on the internet, which everybody knows is forever and ever and ever, and humiliate yourself by proposing that, a $250 bill. And also, how relatable to their working class voters, the $250 bill.
That was my first thought. Yes, because so many Americans have $250 rolling around for one bill for the most valuable president. I think, if I'm not mistaken, you called it when they were introducing that they wanted to put Donald Trump on Mount Rushmore. I think it was around that time.
Yeah.
So something that is just absolutely appalling and not unexpected at all in an administration where sexual abuse and misogyny is at the highest level. But the despicable Tate brothers, who have been held in Romania, who have been alleged to be rapists and human traffickers. And I've seen some of the videos that Andrew has posted on the internet, and it is chilling. And they fled Romania to America. Now, let me just take you back to Alina Habba being on a podcast with Andrew Tate in the last 30 days, saying how great he was and how she was a big fan. And he was a victim of prosecution, just like Donald Trump. And so this administration, according to reports, had been putting pressure on Romania to release them back to the United States. And it is despicable. And you know who else is not happy about it? Kitten Heels. Governor Kitten Heels is madder than a hornet because they went to Florida. Let's hear what he has to say.
They want to rebuff his entry into the United States, and I have confidence that whether it's Pam Bondi or Kristi Noem, that they will be looking at that. I do know our Attorney General, James Uthmeyer, is looking at what state hooks and jurisdiction we may have to be able to deal with this. But the reality is no, Florida is not a place where you're welcome with that type of conduct in the air. And I don't know how it came to this. We were not involved. We were not notified. I found out through the media that this was something that was happening.
Good luck, Kitten Heels, with Donald Trump's Pam Bondi. Good luck with that. She's such a twat. She's sitting around saying on television with cameras, I just signed 14 executive orders. She can't. The Attorney General cannot issue executive orders. These people don't know, come here from Sikkim. And I wonder how this is playing with the sex-obsessed QAnon base. I mean, this is just, or the evangelicals. I mean, this is just wild. But who's benefiting from this? Who are the Tate brothers connected to? Is it Elon Musk? Because he's the one who, they were banned from Twitter and should it still be banned from Twitter. He's the one that, because, you know, we all know he's so pro free speech, as long as it's lies that promote he and Donald Trump. So who's the beneficiary of this?
That is my question entirely. Why was the Trump administration pressuring Romania? Why is Alina Habba on their podcast fluffing him up? Not their podcast, but a podcast with them. So that's the question. What's the connection? What's the transactional nature? Is it money? I don't understand what it is, but I, like you, want to tell Governor DeSantis, if you're waiting on Pam Bondi and Kristi Noem to fix this, good fucking luck. It ain't going to happen.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck with that. The biggest thing that I've seen the Trump administration do is excuse criminality.
Absolutely.
Not hold it to account. This is the anti-law and order administration.
100% it is. And this is sterling proof. But it will be interesting in the next few weeks when it comes out why. Why is Trump so integrally involved with the Tate brothers?
Do you think he is, or do you think this is from one of his bosses? And we all know Donald Trump has two bosses, Elon Musk and Vladimir Putin. And so in the comment section, I know some of you internet sleuths probably have some leads on this. We haven't been able to dig that deep into it, but I'm very curious. Are they Americans, the Tate brothers?
They have UK and US citizenship.
Huh.
You know, I didn't notice that England was holding their hand up to get him released.
Well, of course they're not. I mean, this is insane. And it's just important to point out that the Republican Party, like just not that long ago, was like, we're the party of family values.
Right.
I mean, seriously. I mean, like that was their whole entire party platform, which I just want to point out. When anybody ever tells me I'm for traditional family values, I immediately know it's a red flag.
Yeah.
I immediately know they're screwed up. I immediately know they're sick fucks right out of the gate. Immediately. It's because like who is anti-family? It's just such a stupid thing to say. People have to point out obvious things. You know they're covering for something.
100%. One thing that I found extremely interesting was the, let me get this name right, the Ohio Capital Journal, which is the hometown paper of J.D. Vance, came out with an absolute excoriating article about what a lapdog vice president he has been, how he has embarrassed Ohio. And this is just a quote. The lapdog vice president, with evidently a lot of time on his hands, has managed to be firmly rebuked by the Pope Francis, denounced by outraged NATO allies, and widely ridiculed for his bizarre masculinity rant at a weekend MAGA fest just a month into his tenure. She wrote, "Way to create a buzz, acute embarrassment back home." I hope they're embarrassed, but I'm not sure. I mean, I would hope they're embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. I know you're embarrassed. I think some of these people like it.
I don't think that MAGA feels cringe. I think they're like, they do not feel it. They do not feel shame. They do not feel embarrassment. They do not feel cringe. I think they bought into this fix that is in, and they have sold their souls. And J.D. Vance, I bet with everything in me, is a closet homosexual who is dying to be a full-time drag queen. And I'm not saying that to be cute or to get a big chuckle. I guarantee you, if we hooked him up to truth serum and a polygraph, he doesn't want to be vice president. He wants to be a drag queen. And I also think he's bought, owned, and paid for by Peter Thiel.
I completely agree. So that's just a little uplifting database. I do somewhat want to talk about coming up. We have all of this information coming out about measles, the smallpox, the bird flu, and just keep an eye on the fact that the United States is no longer a part of the World Health Organization. It's all these different infections are coming. That's something we all need to keep our eye out on.
I just want to point out for the viewer that there are more children with measles in the United States of America than there are trans athletes in the NCAA.
Very astute point.
All right, we'll see you all later.